Hey, everybody out there on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm Joby Slay, and I'm here with my partner, Steve Reniker, and we are going live right now to talk about an article Steve sent me last night. And so I'm bringing Steve on, and then this is Steve Reniker. And we're going to talk about, Steve, you sent me this article last night. Florida now has more jobs than New York. And let me add this in here. So this image you sent me, Florida has more jobs than New York for the first time ever. And kind of, we've seen some of this coming, but it was a little bit shocking. Like when you sent it, like I got to look into this more. And I started pulling up articles, and I noticed that this came out a few weeks ago. Like this news broke. The report came out beginning of February. And I was like, wow. I'm like, this must really be true, because I'm like, all of us here in Florida were too busy to even notice this article came out, because now everybody's working instead of being at the beach. Because we added, I think it said 500,000 more jobs in the past few years, which seems...
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you can see this, the source of this is U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So these numbers are, pretty good. So yeah, and again, like you said, Joby, for the first time ever, Florida has surpassed New York with the jobs. I mean, just barely, with just over 9.5 million jobs. And we've seen it. I mean, we've been down here doing real estate here for over a decade and living in Palm Beach County for probably over 25 years now. And actually was just talking to a neighbor of mine who came from New York and has a place in California. We were just talking about how the traffic is so crazy right now down here. I mean, yeah, we're in season, so it's a lot more than normal. But even so, with everyone moving here, you can see why the jobs have increased so much. So, yeah, interesting stat. And yeah, we'll just have to continue to monitor those numbers. But never thought we'd be here, but we definitely have a lot of jobs, and a lot of jobs that are available right now.
Yeah, and it's only like, the difference is only like 2,000 jobs, right? But I mean, the fact that here we are, New York and Florida, and there was another article we saw, I just posted right before we went live on LinkedIn, that's, saying West Palm Beach, where we are here in West Palm Beach, is now the Wall Street of the South. So people also wonder, what are these jobs? Like, what type of jobs are coming here? And, I was reading another article said a lot of the, our tourist leisure type of jobs have all come back. So that's always a big part of Florida. But the other jobs are health and education. These are two big, the medical field, education. I know, looking for lots of nurses. So these jobs, because we still do have a lot of retirees. Even though we have a much younger workforce coming here now, there are a lot of retirees. So health and education, because actually in Palm Beach County, right, we're the 10th largest school district in the whole country. We have the 10th largest school district in the whole country in Palm Beach County, which means, we have a lot of families here, a lot of kids in the Palm Beach County area. So a lot of job growth there to service, all these students and their families. So that's one of the other ones. Let me bring up this article we saw this was Bloomberg. This was the first one I saw. And here's one of the reasons why that they say all these people are moving is the low taxes of Florida, as opposed to the other states. And the number, let me see, the top states, again, are New York, Connecticut, those areas. The other area that pops out as a high tax state where people come from is your old hometown area of Chicago.
Yep.
We see that there. Is that something you hear people talking about there?
Yeah, I mean, Illinois, specifically the Chicago area, has always had high, property taxes. And, we saw, what was it, last year, Ken Griffin of Citadel, that moved his business down here, bought a place in Palm Beach. I think he set a record for that price. But yeah, they have always been historically very high on property taxes. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing, not only from obviously New York and the Northeast, but the Midwest states too, moving down here, and again, California still. So yeah, so that number, I mean, it's just going to continue to grow, I think. And, that brings into, and I can share this screen that I have. It's just as far as like the housing shortage here.
Well, before we go there, I want to, here is also where people are coming from. Here, I want to show where everybody's coming from. So, and these are all considered high tax locations. So New York, which we're just talking about, all these jobs coming from New York now, all the people moving here. And it's not just again, the retirees. We have business people moving here from New York, California. Like the client that sent this to us is from California. The Massachusetts they have listed on here, which are closing coming up at the end of the week, is relocation from Massachusetts. And we were just talking about Illinois, your hometown area. And these are some of the areas we hear people coming from. But I mean, are there some other areas too where clients you've talked to recently that are coming from different areas that we're not hearing yet as much as these others?
I mean, personally, I've just obviously California, because we have clients from there. New York. I mean, those have been the main areas. Connecticut. I haven't seen, me personally, too many from Texas. A lot of people have gone to Texas, but I would say the majority of like the clients that I've interacted with, Northeast, some in the Midwest, and then obviously California.
Here's the article talking about where we have 500,000 more workers than we did before the pandemics. So that's pretty interesting. In this article here, it also discussed, I'm scroll down here, I saw this, not just the job growth, where are all these jobs coming from, but that we created, you see here, 1.7 million more businesses in Florida since January 2020, and 1/3 of those were launched in 2022. So new businesses being created here in Florida, and we know that from some of our clients from New York. A lot of them we've talked to have said the business environment of New York, not just
with over 15,000 acres of farmland across 7 states.
The business environment is more favorable here in Florida, and some of these guys are, they're developers, things like that. And they're just like, just to try and get something approved might take them 3 to 5 years just to get through a process to where they could start maybe building something. And then they're still getting hit with changes to, just to renovate a house has taken, one of our clients up in New York, he's been dealing with it for 2 years just to get the permits to renovate a property. Amazing. So that's one of the other reasons, we see a lot of people moving here from New York is because of the favorable business environment, which, we see in this article here.
100%. Yeah. And I would just add to that. Look, it's a well-run state. We're operating at a budget surplus. Again, taxes being the big thing that we've talked about. Everyone knows no state income tax. Great weather. You got Miami becoming its own tech and, startup hub itself. West Palm Beach, like we're talking about, becoming the Wall Street of the South. So yeah, I don't see it slowing down, which is, again, no surprise that we did surpass New York for the first time ever with jobs. And again, we still have a housing unit shortage issue here in our state because of this increase of, the population growth that we've seen the last few years.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because that's what all segues into this of how does this impact real estate values in Florida and just the overall housing market in Florida. And, we can talk specifically maybe about Palm Beach County, South Florida area, but how does this affect the overall real estate housing market in Florida? And you had some, right before we came on, you had some statistics you were sharing with me that you'd seen recently. So can you share those with us?
Yes. So this should be pulling up. Yes. So this came out from Florida Realtors, and we get updates from them all the time, being realtors ourselves. And yeah, this came out in October December, this past December, where it states that, Florida is going to need 570,000 housing units by 2030. So basically, that's just 7 years from now. So we're 500,000 housing units short from what we need. So again, with the big movement of everyone coming here during COVID and just continuing to come here, again, we still have a huge shortage issue with housing. So,
Steve, is that single family homes, or is that just everything? Apartments, rental apartments? Is that for sale units, or just everything?
That's everything. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything. So, and there's actually, it references a site there that pretty much tracks the state's growing housing needs, which is interesting. I've looked at it a little bit, but you go to buildflorida2030.com. It tracks actually Florida's housing needs and includes a dashboard, that shows how many are renters. It gives a breakdown of land and construction costs. So it's really informative, very interesting. But yeah, so the bottom line is real estate here in our state is just, there's going to be, continue to be a huge demand for it. And I really don't see, even though prices have, cooled a little bit, we're still seeing, great sustainability with the numbers, with what people are getting, even though houses are on the market a little bit longer. Once supply of inventory has increased a little bit, people are still getting, good numbers for their houses. So
I noticed that it says there too, the overall population is projected to grow by over 3 million people during that time frame as well. So again, that's going to be more businesses, more jobs. So I don't see that changing. When people say, "Hey, should I be waiting on the market? Should I wait to see if it softens a little bit?" If we've got 3 million more people coming here looking for those jobs that we have, it's going to be hard to imagine that, especially with the inventory levels right now, it'd be hard to imagine that prices are going to fall back too much. I mean, I think I just saw something where we're still at like 2.9 months of inventory nationally. That we only have 3 months of existing homes available on the market right now that would sell. And again, if you don't know this, 6 months is kind of considered a balanced market. If you have 6 months of inventory, we're at 3 months. I think the historical lows were somewhere around 4 months basically. And, it's better than it was last January, where it was like 1.6 months worth of inventory. Now we're kind of almost double that, so it's a good trend. We do need more inventory, but that's also needs to come from the builders too. There's a lot of new construction happening in our market right now. A lot of new construction in and around Palm Beach County, the Treasure Coast. I know in our area here in South Florida, and that's whether that's apartments, single family, new home construction communities. We just visited Artistry in Palm Beach Gardens last week, and we were looking at some new communities in Port St. Lucie up on the Treasure Coast recently as well. So there's a lot of new construction happening. The builders are going to have to keep up as well to meet this demand, right? Or these existing home prices are just going to continue to climb. And you told me too, there was another article you saw about where median home prices are now?
Well, yeah, we get. I mean, yeah, it's great because I was just thinking about that. Yeah, right before we came on here, yeah, we were talking about how we just got the statistics from our MLS, so local MLS. We get them every month. It gives us month-over-month numbers from last year. So the January figures that just came through for 2023 compared to last January, the median home price on single-family homes and on townhomes and condos is up over 10% from where they were last year. So even though we have more houses on the market, houses staying on the market a little bit longer, the median sales price of residential homes and condos and townhomes in Palm Beach County is still up from where it was last January and over 10%, which is interesting to see. So we track that every month. So we'll see how those numbers look over the next few months, but it just shows you that the prices have not really cooled off. So again, the demand's there and we still need more supply.
Yeah. So recently, some of those clients that have been moving here, where have been the areas they've been looking at the most, like in and around Palm Beach County, West Palm Beach? What neighborhoods have you seen them kind of trending towards?
I mean, we have a handful that like to be by the water. So you get people looking at stuff in the south end of West Palm Beach. I mean, our one client from California, he's looking more Boca del Rey, but near the water, close to the water. They have a healthy price point as far as where their budget is. I just talked to someone last week. They're originally from New York. They're looking for something newer construction in an HOA community that has a lot of amenities. So, every buyer's a little bit different, but from what we've been seeing is, those nice historic areas of West Palm and stuff that's close to the water.
Yeah. And for us, I mean, because Palm Beach County, I mean, it's a pretty big county. It's about 30 miles. You could be anywhere along there on the water or close to the water, if you're willing to, spend enough money. But there's still some pockets in there where you can get close to the water where it's pretty affordable still, and maybe a lot more affordable than where someone was in New York or California. And that's why we're seeing them trend this way as well. But anywhere along there, like Boca del, everything's named the beach, right? Like it's like Palm Beach Gardens, North Palm Beach, Boynton Beach, Riviera Beach, Delray Beach, like Lake Worth Beach. Everything's a town by the beach. So we have plenty of those, and even some of those towns aren't by the beach. So you got to check on that too. Sounds nice, but you got to look at that as you're looking here. I've noticed as well with some of the people coming out of our clients coming out of the Northeast and even the Chicago area clients, they were looking more north of us a little bit, more Treasure Coast, Port St. Lucie. So we're all kind of really connected there because you could get a little bit more for your money in some of those areas as well. And some of the new construction that's really nice. You can find a nice home in there for under $500,000, which is where a lot of people want to be, and then, there are some pockets there where you can still find something, 300s, 200s, depending on the size and whether it's condo, townhome, single family home. And then, we've got a lot of people that are, they're writing the offers on, these larger $1 million homes that are out west because they're building a lot of homes out west of us as well, in some of the new communities out there. And they're 4,000 square foot houses. So, the prices on those are, up around $1 million, give or take. And you can see that on one of the videos we recently did of one of the communities, Artistry in Palm Beach Gardens. They're in that price range there, some more luxury homes. So you can see that in one of the videos we did on YouTube. Check that out. So Steve, what are your predictions for the year on this? With this, then, continue to see prices go higher, Will it level out a little bit? Are we going to see some more inventory?
Yeah, I really think we're gonna see some leveling because again, if you think about January of last year, even though we saw basically a 10% increase year over year from January of 2022 to this past January of 2023, things didn't slow down. Did you lose me? Here we go. Can you hear me? Yeah, my screen's been glitching a little bit, but yeah, I think I think we're gonna see it probably cool down some. What's interesting is, speaking of prices, like the median single family home price in Palm Beach County is around $582,500 right now. And then for condos and townhouses, it's just under 300,000. It's like 299. Just to kind of give you an idea of where median home prices are here in Palm Beach County. So, so yeah, I think it's going to taper off a little bit. We'll see as time progresses this year. But the bottom line is we're still short on inventory. We have people looking. I mean, Joby, you just put an offer in for a client on $1 million property just the other day. So people are buying, and that family needs to sell a house. So there's people always buying and selling in every real estate market. And we just happen to be busier than others because everyone wants to live in Florida. I mean, why wouldn't you want to live here? So
yeah,
it should still be a pretty active year this year.
Yeah, I think one of the articles, or they quoted this guy a couple of times, that said Florida is no longer God's waiting room.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
That's funny. That's good.
We have a lot of younger workforce because the jobs are here too. They can move here. They're following their companies. They can do the jobs that they were doing before. They're not even changing jobs. They're just following their companies here. And these are high paying jobs in, again, financial, health, education. So if, Steve and I are full-time real estate agents. Our business is, our team is the Real Palm Beaches team here in Palm Beach County. We service anywhere from kind of Fort Pierce area through the Treasure Coast, Port St. Lucie, all of the Palm Beaches, and down into like Fort Lauderdale area. It really depends a lot on our clients. We have a very broad background in real estate, financial markets, mortgage, development, investment, building. So, we have a pretty good expertise where we can help pretty much about anybody, navigate a real estate transaction in Florida. And so call and text us. Our numbers are there. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us. We love to just you to call and text us. If you feel more comfortable with email, you can shoot us an email, info@therealpalmbeaches.com, or it's really Joby or Steve at the Real Palm Beaches as well. You can find us. And if you're looking, you want to jump on our website, look around a little bit, you can find us at therealpalmbeaches.com. And also, follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. We're out there, and we like to continue to post a lot of on our social media channels and have conversations with you. So, we'd love to stay connected, get introduced, get to know you. If you're thinking about making a move here to the South Florida area in Palm Beach County. So anything else, Steve, before we sign off?
No, that's it. Thanks, everybody. And reach out if you have any questions. We're here to help.
All right. Have a good one.